Well, that was crazy. How are you feeling?
Swollen, but pretty ecstatic that I came out with the W. We're back in the win column against a super tough up-and-comer as Terrance.
Yeah, I mean, getting back in the win column with a performance like that has got to be a little bit better than maybe a decision win. I don't know.
I love fantastic fights. I got to go back and watch the film to see how I feel about this one. I don't really remember a whole lot, but I'm always satisfied with coming in here and putting on a show for everyone.
Well, I don't know how you're going to be able to answer this question then if you don't remember, but how dangerous did it feel in there in the very beginning? Did you feel like you were out? Did you feel like, what were the feelings in the few?
Oh, no, I was never out of the fight. This is not my first rodeo. I've been hit real hard before in past fights. So I definitely know what I'm capable of. I've been here before. It was all about staying composed, staying in motion, and intelligently defending myself. I knew he was going to come out hot. I misjudged. I thought he was going to wrestle a little bit more, and he came out with a flying knee, which landed pretty well. But I definitely know that he's a first-round finisher, and we've never seen him in the second round. So I was trying to take him into that second to see kind of how much grit and heart does he have. Because at the end of the day, I'm the one that has heart.
Yeah, I mean, do you feel like, like I said, this performance it shows a lot more than, say, going 3 rounds with somebody. Do you feel like this win feels just a little bit better because you were able to finish it in the first round and it was so wild? And
I mean, I know I'm like a real life Rocky story, and so you can hit me hard and I'll hit you back hard. But I'm looking forward to having more skillful fights, more clean finishes. But man, I love collecting crowd favorite fights.
you mentioned that you thought he was going to wrestle a little bit more. Was there anything else that surprised you about him?
His creativity. I think I remember him, throwing some flashy kicks and some spinny stuff, and I thought that was pretty cool. Especially, he took the fight in short notice, and he was fighting a guy that was formerly ranked, and so it was probably one of the bigger fights in his career. And for him to come in with that much creativity and enthusiasm is really cool.
Do you think that the hype around him is accurate? Like, do you think that maybe even now that you've been in there with him? What is your opinion on that?
I mean, judging by my face, it's fairly accurate. But I think he's has a lot of growth to do. I think he has a lot of natural talent, with the finishes that he's had. But we would like to see him kind of or grow a little bit more as an experienced athlete and kind of pace himself for the later rounds. But he's definitely extremely skillful.
And when do you want to get back in there?
I hate long layoffs. So as long as we keep it close, I gotta check with my body and see what I'm capable of. But that Bobby Green fight looks a lot of fun, and so we'll determine what date and times are available for us. But we'll definitely make that happen.
And I mean, obviously we can see some injury on your face, but is there any other injuries that maybe, I know your adrenaline's probably still wearing off, but is there anything that you're worried about long term?
From this fight? No, not at all. About getting beaten up for a living, and there's always some bumps and bruises you got to get healed up so I can perform at my best. And so with my age, I'm trying to monitor and making sure I come into fights as healthy as possible because making it to the fight is the hardest part. And I don't like, unfortunately, with people backing out and falling ill, and trying to get to the fight is the hardest part. And I want to make sure that I show up to every fight I agree to.
Thank you.
This guy's the next big thing. That guy's the next big thing. You're always the guy they put them up against to see how legit they are.
Right? Yeah. No. I bring it every single time, and I feel the UFC and the crowd really loves in the way I fight. I take risks. I move forward. I'm, again, a real-life Rocky.
And they know if they can get by you, they're on their way because you're one of those guys. I know you fought Islam and now him, so many guys along the way. And you mentioned Bobby Green. Anybody else, you've been doing this a long time, that you haven't fought yet, where you just say, man, I really want to fight that guy one day?
Man, I love fantastic fights. And so guys like, Dustin Poirier, Conor McGregor, like the guys that just have theatrical, very fun fights, Donald Cerrone, these are the guys that I want to fight. I want to kind of, I don't want to sneak my way to the rankings and to a title, right? Putting together long win streaks to then get the opportunity. I just want to have bangers and crowd favorites and, for, 1 or 2 fights and then keep pumping up. Michael Chandler is a good example of that. Just, you go out there, you give it your all, and the crowd loves it.
You want some more wars. You want to be hit some more.
Yeah, I mean, this career has a shelf life. So as long as I'm in it, I mean, I'm putting in the glory.
Thank you, man. Congrats.
Thank you so much.
Hey, Drew.
What up, bud?
What's up, dude? Do you think sparring with Justin Gaethje probably helped with your durability in this fight?
I think I've came into this career with durability. I think it was just godsend, and unfortunately, other people have proven it. But man, it's just such a coincidence that Justin Gaethje and I are on the same team because we have the same mentality and same demeanor and same risk-taking abilities. I'm a huge fan of Justin, and man, we could start charging money for those sparring rounds.
I'd pay for it. So, was there any extra pressure coming into this fight, maybe that you were fighting for your job?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I was 0-2 last year, and this one, I mean, it could have been potentially 0-3. So, yeah, there's definitely added pressure to just maintaining, my spot in the UFC roster. But I tried not to think about it too much because when your mind gets into, outcome focused, you forget kind of what gets you there. And so I was practicing a ton of just dismissing the outcome, just coming in and focusing on 1 second at a time.
Where does this win and I guess this finish kind of rank in your UFC career so far?
Just one notch in the win column. Man, like Terrance is really talented, up and comer, but he took the fight in short notice, and yeah, I don't think it's a huge jump. I think it's just more stock on my name, but man, we're ready for more.
Two last things for me. I just wanted to know, how was the weight cut this time? I know it's a big one for you. Just how was the weight cut during this week?
I mean, it's always incredibly fun. Man, I walk around at like 80, 85. I show up fight week at 175. So the dilemma has always been at 175, it's either 5 pounds or 20 pounds. And 5 pounds don't seem like enough because, I've rolled with Usman and he's huge, And so I unfortunately have to make the descent of 20 pounds. It definitely doesn't tickle, but man, I work with Laylee Liederman in Denver, Colorado, and she's made all my weight cuts super smooth with, all the science backing behind it. So, we get the job done in a healthy fashion, and I feel fit and ready for each fight.
Dober versus Bobby Green. What's your perfect, I guess, arena you want to fight in? Like what's a dream thing you want to fight in this?
God, that fight has to be in front of a crowd. It has to be, right? Yeah. So let's find a place that we can just pack the arena. I would love to be a part of that, like a main card, co-main. Just with Bobby and I, we're both such fun fighters, taking risks, and we can make that fight exciting. And I feel like there'd be very little wrestling in that fight.
For sure. And then I guess finally for me, what's the rest of your night look like?
Relaxing, icing this face, probably sitting down and not getting back up, and definitely just some gluttony and some wine.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
I've got one question. I always wonder about when you guys fly home, especially when you have so many facial injuries. What do people ask you, what happened, or are you guys hiding it? How do you travel home?
Oh, every time my wife turns to me, I wince. So people think, no. No, you get the weird looks, but it's fun, man. This is why I do it. I do it for the attention. We're all entertainers. So I get to wear this as a badge of honor, and if people want to talk about it, I'm all ears.
Awesome, thank you.
Which is the better feeling, that the fact that you got the knockout and you got the win, or the fact that you actually had to deal with some real adversity at the beginning and that you overcame it? I know as you go back and watch the fight, I think you'll see that you looked really, really hurt at the beginning. But is it more special for you that you actually went through some adversity and then got that nice finish as well? I
mean, I felt really hurt in the cage. But no, I like the clean finishes, to be honest. I love having the back and forth battles and the wars. But man, that was too close for comfort. So we're gonna do our best not to get that close again.
Yeah. Well, and especially he talked a little bit about coming with pressure. You got to see how explosive this guy was. Was there ever any point where you thought, with the short notice fight, having the 2 losses, and you look at this guy coming in, was there ever any part that you were just like, do we really want to take this one, or do we want to just maybe play it safe and have a full cam and really come in here prepared for somebody?
No. We had options as far as last-minute replacements, and as soon as I saw Terrance's name, like I said, I want the great fights. I want the fantastic fights, and as soon as that name popped up, I'm like, that would be an incredible one. And like I said, I'm not looking to squeak my way back into the division. I want to make some loud noises and have fantastic fights, and by the time I'm old and a grandfather, I get to tell my grandchildren all of these stories.
Congrats on the victory.
Thank you.
Drew, congrats on the big win. First of all, thank you for what would look like 3 rounds inside of 1 round. How did you see that opening? Because to me, it looked like it was the knee that crumbled him, and that was like a body shot. And from then, once you got into his guard, it was over.
If I could be completely honest, mine was just getting the composure back. And by the time I was able to pull full guard and I felt him like fading. And so then I was just kind of just trying to make him work, and ideally push him into the second round. But once I got to my feet and I felt his desperation, that's when I knew the fight was mine. And he's a great opener, a first-round finisher. But like I said, I'm extremely durable, and I can take the fight into the later rounds. And, that's kind of what the plan was, and we were able to accomplish it, unfortunately, with a lot of cosmetic damage.
Was the desperation with his shots and with his like spinning back fist and things like this? Or what do you mean?
Yeah, it's more so like the breathing and the temperament. Like I could just feel, like it's not a relaxed to composed. Like with my fight with Islam, I mean, everything was like strategic. Where with him, it was like he was trying to put me away as fast as possible. And man, the cardiovascular can't keep up with that.
Excellent. And lastly, you came out to Montel Jordan?
Oh yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't have to ask, but why did you come out to that?
90s R&B is my thing. I'm punch, kick, and I bring the violence to R&B music all the time. And man, I perform my best when I'm in a good mood and I'm dancing. And man, you can't help but dance when you hear that song.
Oh, no, not at all. Thank you, sir, and congrats on the win.
Thank you so much.